Welcome to Stories from the Center of the Universe, the podcast about the human experience.
All right, we're back after missing a week. I drove to the beach a little over a week ago and stayed at the beach. I'm like, I'm going to be in a beach frame of mind. I'm not going to bug these guys or myself last week. And so we skipped a week, but I'm glad to be back on. Still a pretty cool time of year, especially given that the World Cup is in the U.S. or in North America for the first time, I think, in 30 plus years. So it's really cool. And obviously, Jack and Zach's first Cup being played in the U.S. But we're going to talk about the World Cup last. We're going to start with Rob. Give us a Belmont Stakes update. And I think I know who won, but tell us more about it.
Yeah, so pretty cool. Golden Tempo, who won the Derby, you'll recall, actually did a from last to first place again in the Belmont Stakes, and which made the trainer, the Sherry DeVoe girl, she's only the second female trainer ever win the Belmont, and she's the first female trainer to win 2 of the Triple Crown races. I guess anytime, but certainly in the same year. So
she probably has same year and all time for both of those.
Yeah, I would think so. You guys might remember Renegade, who finished second to him at the Derby, finished third. Commandment also ran in the Derby. He finished second, beat him by 1 1/4. It was those three coming down the stretch, and was a good race. So that was the Belmont.
Hey, Rob, what were the odds for Golden Tempo in the Belmont?
Renegade was still number 1, I think. I think Renegade was 9-2. I think Golden Tempo was 5-1 in that one. It was tight, actually. There was 4 or 5 horses that were no worse than like 6-1. So it was a lot of good. Chief Wallaby was in it. He finished 4th. He was a 5-1, I think, along with I think Commandment, Golden Tempo, and Chief Wallaby were all right in that 5-1 range. So,
did you see any interviews of the owner or the trainer where they expressed some regret not racing in the Preakness?
I didn't. I was just about to say that. Now we talked about that briefly. And maybe it's very well why he won the Belmont Stakes is because he didn't run in the Preakness. But they've got to be what if, don't they? I mean, just in my opinion. I mean, I'm like, God darn, you had a 14th horse all time to be able to do that. You had a shot at, not that winning 2 out of 3 is not bad. And you win the 2 that you run in, but the Triple Crown is the Triple Crown, So it's just weird to me. But
yeah, the trainers and owners have various motivations, right? Some do it for the money, some do it for the fame, some do it for the legacy. I don't think they were doing it for the legacy. I don't think they were doing it for the fame. If they were doing it for either one of those things or both of them, they would have run in all 3 races. So I think they were doing it to be competitive, and I think they were trying to optimize their chances of winning 2 out of 3.
Yep, I would agree with that. So, but yeah, so it's still pretty cool, but a bunch of good horses. So it was a good race. It was fun to watch. So it's nice. Nothing's like the Derby, but I consider the Belmont the kind of the second biggest of the 3. So with Preakness coming in, but maybe when Preakness gets back to its home, it'll be a little bit better. And Belmont's actually not at Belmont right now. That's being redone, so it's a shorter race than usual.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
cool. All right, Jack. NBA Finals wrapped up last night. Can you give us an overview of the entire series and your thoughts on the series?
Yeah, Knicks ended up winning 4-1. Won all 3 games on the road. They dropped the third out of the 5 that they played. The Knicks always seemed like they were taking the Spurs punches in the first quarter, and then they'd battle their way back, and then they'd always find themselves down going into the fourth and then do the same thing. They were down as much as 15 last night, and with, I think, 2.5 to go in the quarter, and then they ended up battling back and won the game by 4, I believe. They were down 29 in game 4 in the third quarter and ended up battling all the way back to win game 4. So I feel like it was just a kind of a tale of two halves. Some foul trouble really caused them to get down early, but I really think that they picked up the defensive intensity and kind of made some good adjustments throughout the entire series to ultimately bring the championship back home to New York for him. And yeah, Brunson is, I don't know. People say he's small. He's 6'2", but he's probably one of the most gifted basketball players in the league right now. He dropped 45 last night, which is tied for the most ever with Michael Jordan for a game series, in like a chance to end the series, in which they ended up winning. So I don't know. He is off the charts. But yeah, props to New York. They made the adjustments that they needed to. They kept Wemby in check for the most part, as much as you can for a dude that's 7'5" and has all the talents in the world. But yeah, New York definitely, it's well deserved for them.
So, Jack, you said that they're bringing it back to New York. Your dad was 11 and I was 10 the last time the trophy was in New York, or they were the champions for a year, kind of thing. That was a really long time ago.
I thought we were 5 and 6. I think it was 1973, wasn't it?
Oh, you're right. I was thinking it was 79, but you're right. It was
73 years ago. Yeah, it's crazy.
I was 4.5.
I'll tell you how old we are. We were still alive for that.
Yes, we were still alive. 79. The irony of 79 is I think my favorite team, the Milwaukee Bucks, were the champs. I just completely blew that. I'm not a real fan, Zach. Zach, any thoughts on the championship series?
I honestly could not have said it better myself. Jack pretty much covered everything. Brunson might be the best basketball player in the world right now. Speaking of which, you told me a few weeks ago that Victor Wembanyama is the best basketball player in the world. Has your stance changed at all?
Probably a little bit. I definitely am not as high on him as I was a few weeks ago. I still think he has a chance to be the best player in the world. But he reminded us he's 20. Team reminded us that their average age is under 24 or whatever that crazy average age is for that team. But before I give my thoughts on the series.
You cut out. What did you say?
Yeah, you broke up.
Sorry. Yeah, my bad. Rob, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, you just kind of touched on, I think my thing is I just couldn't believe the leads that the Spurs kept giving up. Especially game 4. I saw it when they were up 22. I think they ended up getting up by 29 at some point, Jack told me. And I is that, I'm sure it's a combination of Brunson and the Knicks, but man, you've got to, what'd you tell me? A quarter and a half was the 20-something point lead. I just don't know how you give that up. And then we were walking out of a birthday dinner last night, and it was early in the second, and they were up 13 or 15 or something like that. And I was like, oh, here we go again. And he's like, Jack said, well, remember, no lead is safe. So I don't know if it's just their age and inexperience, or, certainly Brunson and the Knicks had something to do with it. But yeah, I guess it bodes well for the Spurs' future that they're young and they made it there, and they've got a lot of potential for the future. So, but I think that was the biggest surprise for me, is just their ability to give up leads in this series.
Yeah, Brunson. I watched an interview with Hart and Brunson, and Hart is obviously a jokester and loves to give Brunson grief, and apparently he's the only one that can make Brunson smile, at least off the team. The question was, hey, Jalen, who's your favorite point guard of all time? And he said Steve Nash. And he goes, well, how is that the case? Steve Nash was a pass-first point guard. You're a shoot-always point guard. So I don't know how to reconcile Jalen Brunson possessing the ball a lot, which makes me think of James Harden, and how he. And I guess the answer is, when they get into pass mode, they remind me of the Spurs like 25 years ago with Duncan and Robinson and those guys, and Ginobili. They are a very good passing team when the ball's out of Jalen's hands, when Jalen's not dribbling around. But I think he's probing, and he's probing for a shot, or he's probing to make a good pass, where I think Harden maybe is probing to get a shot. He's actually not probing. last playoffs, they won.
Gilly, you're breaking up again or freezing or something.
I'm going to off video. All right, hopefully that'll improve it. I can't remember the last time a team ripped off 15 of their last 16 games like the Knicks did. Their age definitely back to the fact that Brunson, Bridges, and Hart have played together since college. They won a national championship in college. There's a reason for that. They're all individually talented, but they also are very, very good as a trio. Was brought up OG until right now. That guy was a problem for the Spurs that I don't think they really solved. And then giving up 2 significant leads the last couple of games, the 29-point game, the Spurs chucked up threes incessantly the entire second half, and they just weren't hitting them. And it was almost like a mindset of, there's no way we can give up a 29-point lead. We can literally do whatever we want. And the fact that the first-year coach didn't correct that at some point in the late third quarter, early fourth quarter, just I think says that he's never been in that situation. He's never had to worry about trying to protect a 29-point lead against a team that's as good as the Knicks. But his rookie year kind of showed up at the end, giving up those 2 big leads in the last couple of games. And then back to the average age and your inexperience, Rob, and I think, Jack, you said this as well. They've never been in that position before, and they lack resilience just because they're 21, 22, 23 years old across the board with a couple of exceptions. So anyway, yeah, I was kind of rooting for the Spurs, but everything about the Knicks is likable, and so I'm happy they've got the championship to hold for another year, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I don't know if this is going to be a one-hit wonder sort of year for them, or if they're going to persist for the next, 3 to 5 years. Should be interesting because they're not old either, right, Jack? The Knicks.
I mean, I wouldn't say that they're not super old. I mean, you got Cat. He's probably been in the league for, 10 years, maybe, if not that much. But I think that they're probably pushing a medium age in the NBA. I think that they'll be around for a long time if they're able to keep the core. I think that all the teams in the NBA are going to get better just because they're going to get healthier, and we'll have to see who gets drafted where and stuff like that. This is probably one of the best draft classes that we've seen in long time. You have 3 franchise players coming off that you can confidently say that this team would be fine with these 3, no matter who you get to be your franchise player. So I think, but depending on who goes where in the offseason and who gets drafted there, getting some of these key pieces in, I think is going to be really, really important to see who's able to kind of take that rise. Boston's getting Tatum back after he tore his ACL. Same thing with Indianapolis. Detroit's going to get older, so they're good. San Antonio is going to be back where they were, and you're going to have OKC back where they are. You're going to have Minnesota getting better. So, there's those really, really top-heavy teams that aren't going to go anywhere, and especially, depending on where Giannis goes, since he wants out of Milwaukee. You never know, who's going to be able to get a package together for him and where he's going to end up.
A couple things here. One is, when you mentioned Cat, and I agree, he's probably the senior guy that is in the rotation, and obviously he's a starter as well. And he's a very, very good player, and he's the kind of player that can slow Wemby down a bit. Zach, did you notice I didn't try to pronounce his full last name? Wembanyama. Cat, it's amazing he's played as long as he's played at all levels, but especially at the NBA level. You can't figure out how to stay out of foul trouble. Give up, dude. You getting your 3rd foul in the first half is a bigger that's 8 to 12 points for the other team because you had to sit out that long. Because there's no other good answer to stop Wemby on the team, at least not that I saw. You could give Robinson some credit, but he can't play more than 2 minutes at a time, it seems. When you're bringing your 3rd-string center in the game, that means Cat doesn't know how to take care of his team by not getting in foul trouble. He seemed to be constantly in foul trouble through this series, and I don't remember the prior series, but I'm guessing he got some foul trouble in those series as well. And it's almost like he's not even thinking about it or worried about it. And then, Jack, since you brought up Giannis, I'll ask Zach, what do you think is going to happen with Giannis, and how do you feel about what you think is going to happen to Giannis?
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I
No,
misheard.
Yep, you're good. What's that?
I have no idea where he's going to go. I've heard rumors for just about every team. I've got a friend who likes Boston, and he's talking a lot of crap to me about it. Some deal with Jaylen Brown, a couple firsts, Peyton Pritchard for Giannis. Who knows if that'll happen? As for how I feel about it, it seems like Giannis has been checked out the last couple years. We haven't been able to get anything done, and you can blame injuries with Dame. That experiment failed. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just kind of ready to let them rebuild. It's pretty clear they're not anywhere close to where they need to be to win finals. So whatever we can do to get our rebuild jump started quickly, I'll be fine with it.
I don't think this is going to happen, but if we got Jaylen Brown, Pritchard, and 2 first-round picks, I don't care what the years are, I'd take that deal in a second.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the exact deal. It was something along those lines.
Okay, Jack, thoughts on Giannis?
Yeah, I'd actually like to see Giannis end up in Minnesota with Anthony Edwards. I think that combination right there would probably be the best duo in the league, if I'm being honest.
That'd be disgusting.
Those two together, it would be I would just be fascinated to see how that works. But they're going to give up whoever gets him is going to give up a really, really good package. And I think Milwaukee is going to make sure that they get something really good in return, especially after like what they had to give up for Dame and that didn't work out. I think that they're really going to ensure that the package that they get is going to be a good one. I mean, there's some good solid players coming up throughout Milwaukee. But I think you gotta plan for the future, and the picks I think are the most important thing in the NBA right now. If it's not like a superstar type of player.
All right, we'll finish this basketball discussion today with one question, and you can give me the following answers are acceptable: same, worse, or better. OKC and they're flopping. Rob, same, worse, or better for next season?
Worse.
Zach.
Same.
Jack.
I go same or better. I think the NBA is going to put some different rules out there with it when it comes to flopping.
And I'll say, God, I hope so.
My answer is same, but I hope what Jack said actually does happen. They've got to do something. When players are jumping sideways from the path to the basket to try to get a foul, and they end up not getting it in the worst case, but I think he's probably pulled it off hundreds of times the last few years he's been in the league. It's not fun basketball, so I'm very happy that they didn't make it to the championship series. All right, moving on. Rob, you're most invested in the NHL, I think, out of all of us, and I know you've been following the Stanley Cup playoffs, so bring us up to speed.
Yeah, so could end tonight. It's you guys are probably aware it's the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Just real quick, Game 1 was a Vegas win. Game 2, Carolina. Game 3, Vegas. Game 4, Carolina. That was 2-2. And then the crucial Game 5, Carolina won it. So they're up 3-2 in the series. Their captain, Stoll, has been, just really good. The series has been just incredibly competitive. Kind of actually similar to the NBA. No goal lead has been safe in this series. I think it was game. I can't remember which one it was. Vegas was actually up 4-0, and Carolina came back and tied it 4-4, and then lost in double overtime or something crazy like that. I think that was Game 3. I think. Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you. So anyway, it's been a great series, a lot of fun. The goalie for Vegas is the first goalie ever to give up. I think it started at 3 or 4 games, but now in 5 games, he's given up at least 4 goals. And on the flip side, Carolina had to make a goalie change. And this kid, Busby, I don't know if he's a kid, but anyway, he's the new one. And he's got some experience, but he has really played extremely well. But Carolina's just been really good at taking advantage of their chances, and but it's been a fun series, and I believe the Game 6 is tonight, if I recall, and so Carolina's got a shot to finish it out, but it's in Vegas, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I know you're pulling for Carolina, so I think it's going to end tonight. I think Carolina's. I mean, Golden Knights are obviously a very good team, but I think Carolina's just too much for them. And so even if it does go past tonight, I think Carolina wins in 7. My only contribution to the NHL conversation, and I did watch some of it, and Carolina just to the eye test, they look like the better hockey team. I was in a store a couple days ago in North Carolina, and there's lots of Hurricane T-shirts and jerseys around. And this woman walked into the same store I was in with her husband, and she was wearing a Golden Knights hat. And I just stared at her and said, "How dare you?" And then walked out of the store. That actually didn't happen, but all of that happened except me saying, "How dare you?" and walking out. I didn't say
you did do a little stare. That's about the truth of it. I hear you.
No, I didn't do that either. I did stare long enough to figure out she was wearing a Golden Knights hat.
I got you.
Yeah. Well, and her arm was in a sling, so there may have been an altercation prior to that. Jack, have you been following the NHL?
Yeah, I've been watching some of the games. So I like playoff hockey. I don't really care for it during the middle of the year because I don't know who's good. I don't keep up with it that much. But I like playoff hockey just because of the intensity that they play with. I mean, these dudes like are skating around like it's nothing. And like you see, like you go to the ice skating rink around us, and like you see people step on the ice and they can't even make it 2 steps. So I find that interesting, and I obviously enjoy the physicality of them playing and running into each other all the time.
Yeah, I'm back on that. The things that they do on skates is just freaking crazy. So I mean, just to watch how they'll use their skate to direct the puck, and it blows me away that you're on an eighth of an inch or whatever of steel, and you can keep your balance like that. It's just crazy.
I mean, obviously, it takes a lot of commitment to be able to skate and handle the puck the way they do, and it starts when they're like 3 or 4 years old. I'm sure for 90% of them.
And like Jack said, beat the crap out of each other too. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only sport besides MMA where you're like, okay, let's agree to get into a fight right now because you wronged me or whatever. We're having beef, and so let's just drop gloves and fight.
Yeah, or you touch my goalie.
Right. Yeah, you whack my goalie's head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my favorite, I don't think it's happening in these playoffs, but my favorite is when the goalies decide to get into a fight.
Right.
I don't understand how that happens, but because they're obviously not physically near each other during the game, typically.
Right, yeah.
All right, cool. Let's talk about the World Cup. I'm actually one of those guys that did not grow up with soccer, but my daughter's really into English Premier League. I chose a favorite team based on making a baseball cap selection when I was in London a few years ago, and so I'm a West Ham fan. And my daughter a week ago informed me that West Ham was relegated to the second tier league. So my favorite team is not even at the top tier. With that being said, there are a lot of groups in the World Cup, but it's a reminder that it's not every country that has a national soccer team. You have to qualify to get here. And I don't understand the rules for qualification. Does anybody understand how people qualify or how nations qualify? Yeah. All right. So none of us are super experts in the World Cup. Yeah, we can certainly Google it, but we can do it now or later. All right, I've got all the group listings here. This will be pure guessing in a lot of cases, especially for me. Maybe there's some expertise you guys have that I don't know about. But I'm going to if you guys could pull up a listing of all the groups so I don't have to read all of them, and then we're just going to decide which 2 teams advance from each group. Is that cool?
Sure.
Yep.
Everybody locked and loaded with what they're looking at?
I am.
Hold on.
All right, cool.
All right, go ahead. I'll be ready when you get there. Start with
all
you
right.
guys.
Zach, Group A, which 2 countries are making it out?
Is it cheating to pick the 2 teams that already won a game?
I don't think it's cheating. I think they may be the best 2 teams.
Okay, so I'll take Mexico and Korea.
North Korea or South Korea?
South.
Yeah, that was a joke. It was a really bad joke. Sorry. I don't think North Korea has a good enough team, nor they would be. I don't think they'd be let into this tournament. I'm going to go Mexico just because they're perennial favorite. I've also seen them play a little bit. They're still good. They've always been good my entire life. And I think South Korea, their reputation is they're a very good team. So I'll agree with you, Jack.
Yeah, it's Mexico and South Korea.
Rob.
Concur.
Oh, you didn't want to be different?
Mm,
You didn't want to go with Czechia?
no. Thank you.
All right. Here we go. Group B. I have a feeling we're all going to say the same thing in Group B. I'll start. Switzerland, Canada, and wait a minute. Oh, they haven't played any games. All right.
No, they did. They all
tied. Yeah, they all tied.
Oh, sorry. And now I'm seeing a bunch of ones under the D there. Yep. Wow. Two draws. That's crazy. Who played who in each match? Does anybody know?
Switzerland played Qatar and Canada played I don't know who the other team is.
BIH.
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm still going Switzerland and Canada. Jack.
Yeah, Switzerland, Canada.
Rob.
Switzerland and Qatar.
No, you're not.
Dude, Canada's never won in the World Cup. They're 0-6-1. That's
the
the first
population of Qatar is like 200.
Well,
I made that up. I have no idea what the population of Qatar is. The landmass is tiny. All right, I like it. I like you going out there, and maybe we're giving our northern neighbor a little too much credit. All right, Zach.
by the way, am I supposed to these down?
Switzerland and Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Oh wow, we're really mixing it up now. All right, let's speed up a little bit. Group C, Jack.
Wait, hold on. Am I supposed to be writing these down, or are you doing it?
Well, it's being recorded, so it's
okay.
sort of being written down anyway.
All right, very good. Never mind.
I see. You wanted us to slow down. I got it.
I'm going to go with Morocco and Brazil.
I like that. Rob.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame. Well, it just happens, but those two had to play each other in the first round, and that's like a top 10 matchup in the world. So you got, even though Scotland's got the win already, I think you got to go with Morocco and Brazil. I think they'll both beat Scotland. So
gotcha. Zach.
Morocco, Brazil.
All right, I'm going to be different. I'm going to say Brazil, Scotland. And I did watch this game, the Morocco-Brazil game. Morocco is a very good team, but I think there's going to be some upsets, and I'm going to pick one here. So Scotland. All right, Group D, Rob.
USA, Australia.
Interesting. Zach.
Yeah, U.S., Australia.
Jack.
I'll go the U.S. and Turkey.
I'm with Jack. I'm going USA and Turkiya as it's listed here. I guess that's how people in Turkey spell Turkey. All right, back to Zach going first. Group E.
Germany, Ecuador, probably.
Jack. No, I'm
Germany.
sorry, it's me. Sorry. Go ahead, Jack. I messed up the order. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Germany, Ecuador.
I'm going to be the same. Germany, Ecuador. Rob.
Who is CIV?
Don't even worry about it.
Ivory Coast.
Germany, Ecuador.
Rob, the other two countries are Ivory Coast and Curacao.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm watching. Yeah, Curacao and Germany are on right now. So,
and Germany's up 5-1.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll go Germany, Ecuador.
All right, we're same there. All right, Group F. Me starting, and I don't know anything about any of these teams. Oh, I'm guessing. I know the Netherlands is historically a very good team. The Swedes tend to be pretty good too, so I'll go Netherlands, Sweden. Jack.
I'm gonna go Netherlands and Japan, but Sweden makes it out as a group of three teams, or three of the teams make it out of this group, no matter what.
Really?
I think so. That's how I would see it. Sweden's not bad. I mean, they got Eric Haaland, so I think that they're capable of putting some damage. It's all going to depend on the goals, but I do like Netherlands and Japan with Sweden coming out probably in the 3 spot.
Remind me how do you come out of the 3 spot if typically only the top 2 teams. So you're saying some threes come out just based on the way the rules are set up.
Yeah, so I believe that there's 12 groups, and the 8 highest 3 seeds are going to come out. So if it's like Netherlands and Japan both get like, let's say if they all end with 4 points, Netherlands, Japan, and Sweden somehow, or 5 points, whatever it is, and then it'll just come down to goal differential with who's going to become first, second, and third. And then if Sweden has like 5 points, they'll probably be at the top of their of the third place grouping. So then they would go through.
Okay, makes sense. All right, so there are more than just the 24 teams that constitute the top 2 from each group.
Yeah, it'll be. I think this is the first year it's a round of 32, and then it'll be round of 16, quarterfinal, semifinal, and so on.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right, Rob, Group F.
I'm going to go with Netherlands and Sweden.
All right, Zach.
Yeah, I'll take Netherlands and Sweden.
All right, Group G, Jack.
Easily Belgium and probably Iran.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be amazing. Rob.
I'm going to go Belgium and Egypt.
Zach.
Belgium and New Zealand.
I want to say Belgium and Iran, but I think I'm going to say Belgium and New Zealand as well. All right, Group H, Jack. Oh, no, is this Jack or Rob? This is Rob.
I'll go with, what is CPB? What is that?
Irrelevant, probably.
Cabo Verde.
Well, definitely going with Spain, and then I'll go with Uruguay.
All right, Zach.
Yeah, Spain and Uruguay.
And then to me, Spain and Uruguay, just because those two are the obvious best 2 teams. Cabo Verde probably had a different name 4 years ago. I'm guessing it's somewhere in the Caribbean, but it could be off the coast of Africa. Who knows? I'd be surprised if Saudi Arabia was good enough to be top 2, but they also have a lot of money and they could have paid a bunch of players to be on their teams. But Spain and Uruguay are certainly the historical favorites. Jack.
Yeah, same here.
All right, cool. Group I, we'll start with Zach.
France and Norway.
All right, I have a fun little story based on seeing Iraq here in Group I. Iraq won the Asian Soccer Championship that I think they do every 3 or 4 years, and I was in Baghdad when they won. I've never seen people go as crazy as the Iraqis went when they won, because I think it was the first time they'd ever won, and they were an underdog that year. I guess it was summer of 07. They won the whole thing, and they were firing guns in the air. Just it was crazy, absolutely crazy. But I'm going to go France and Norway because they're the traditional powerhouses out of that group. Jack.
Yeah, France, Norway, probably.
Rob.
France, Norway.
All right. I'll start Group J. Wow. I'm going to obviously Argentina, and then I'm going to go Algeria. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm going to go Argentina and Algeria. And by the way, that's fun. 3A countries, and then Jordan randomly as the 4th team. All right, Jack.
Yeah, I'm the same as you.
Rob.
What is that? Austria?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go with the other A. I'll go with Argentina and Austria.
All right, Zach.
I'll go Jordan and Argentina.
You have any idea what you're talking about when you say Jordan?
Nope.
All right, nice. I don't know anything about Algeria. Group K, is this me starting? I just started. This is Jack starting. Group K, Jack.
Portugal and Colombia. Should be pretty easy work.
Rob.
Portugal and Colombia. Yep.
Zach.
Same here.
Same for me. All right. Group L, take us home, Rob.
England and Ghana.
All right, Zach.
I'll go England and Panama.
I'm going to go England and Croatia just to be different. Jack, you're
England.
actually taking us home, Jack.
England and Croatia.
Do you know anything about Croatia?
They're pretty stout team. I think that they've made it to. I'm almost positive they've made it to the final 16 for like the last like 3 or 4 World Cups, or like it's been like 3 out of the last 4 or something. Like they're pretty stout when it comes to soccer out there in Croatia.
Yeah, it's obviously a national sport for them, based on how they performed the last few World Cups. Rob, I'm sure you have it either in your brain or in front of you. Who are the top 3, 4, or 5 teams coming into the World Cup?
You may take this.
Yeah, go for it.
I would probably have to go with England, Portugal, Argentina, France, Spain. Probably I don't know. There's so many good teams. Brazil's got to be in there. Germany. I think that this is probably one of the biggest like World Cups where it's not like a super definitive favorite. Like last year, it was like, yeah, France and Argentina are and England are probably some of the best couple teams out there where it wasn't that many. But I think this year there's so many good teams that it could be anybody. It's all just going to come down to matchups and who plays who, where, and when.
All right, we haven't talked about the U.S. victory over Paraguay, and I'd love to do that. I watched the entire match. That kid who was born in New York, was raised in London, but it has his family's from Nigeria. And I don't know the story behind why 3 years ago he decided to play for the American national team, but he did. And I'm so happy he did because he's the first American to score 2 goals in the first match of a World Cup in like 92 or 96 years, something crazy like that.
96.
So I'm really glad you decided to join us. It's 96.
Yeah, 1932.
So, 94 years. No, what's the math on the 96 years? Sorry, you're right. All right, so did you guys watch that match?
Yes, whole thing. Most goals scored by the U.S. in any World Cup match so far. So,
yeah, I'm surprised and I'm happy, and I think they might actually get pretty far in this World Cup, maybe farther than we've ever been. And I'm saying that not knowing how far we've gone, but I don't think we've ever made it to the Final 4, and we may not have made it to the Final 8 ever.
You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, I mean, of course, we have a connection, albeit very long. Not anything close or whatever. But Riley, when she had her PT issues, went to Matt Pulisic, who is Christian Pulisic's uncle, and Christian played great. I'm glad to see that they just kind of took him out the second half just as a precaution. But you can definitely tell he's awesome on the left side when he's in there. And yeah, love the kid that scored 2 goals. Glad, like you said, glad he decided to play with us and not the other 2 countries that wanted him. So,
in 1930, we officially finished 3rd.
Oh, dang.
The best we've ever done is we made it to the quarterfinals once in 2002.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So modern era, we made it to the Final 8 one time.
Yeah.
That's a little crazy.
Yeah. So
yeah, Pulisic is he's only 27. I would have thought he was 32 or something as long as he's been famous as a soccer player in this country, but he's only 27.
Yeah, no, he was one of those ones that they talked about him and 2 other players on this team that, were basically like 13 or 14 when they got, started getting all the big time attention, So he's probably been playing on this stage for 10 years, which is crazy.
Yeah, super crazy. Jack, you probably know this. If a soccer player from America was good enough to play in Spain professionally, Germany, England, France, they would go play there versus MLS, or does it come down to how much you're going to get paid?
I mean, I know that the old way is like you would always go over to Europe just because like that's where you're going to get like your stardom, and like it's obviously a different level of soccer out there compared to the MLS. But I guess nowadays it could just come down to money. I mean, Messi stopped playing over in Europe to come over here, and so did Neymar. So like big names, but they're also towards the end of their career. I think a lot of the younger players are definitely going over to Europe to play in whatever capacity, just because of like the level of the game out there.
Yeah. So the fact that none of our goalkeepers are on a European team. They're all MLS. Should that worry us?
Maybe down the line. I know that the keeper that we have playing for us now, not the I can't remember his name. I think his last name is Freeze or something. But apparently he's legit. Like, I guess in whatever soccer competition with the U.S., he was making a bunch of crazy saves when it came to like a penalty shootout. So I think that's why they went with him. I think he's pretty good. I mean, like, you have your like top of the line keepers that are going to be in the World Cup, but I think he's probably pretty solid in the middle of the pack with other keepers in the World Cup.
Yeah, the most famous goalkeeper in my mind for the U.S., especially the last 25 years or so, or even 35 years, is Tim Howard. And Tim Howard played in Europe for his entire professional career. But times have changed, I'm guessing, a bit since the prime of his career. I'm looking at our roster. It looks like 7 defenders play in Europe. We've got 4 midfielders that play in Europe. And then, wow, our entire forward roster is all European. I think that bodes really well for us, right?
Yeah, experience of playing, like, a lot of these guys that are out here playing the World Cup are also, or at least like the top end teams, like they're all playing in Europe just because of either that's where they're from or like that's the level that they're at. So it definitely bodes well that like we've played against these guys before in whatever capacity, obviously not World Cup, but it always bodes well to play competition like that. It gets you prepared for the World Cup a little bit easier.
Yeah, I imagine an MLS a regular season game is not crazy, but every game in professional, whether it's Italy, France, Germany, etc. And I've been to an English Premier League game in London. I mean, it's crazy. I think every professional at the highest level across those main few countries in Western Europe, it's just a level that we can't appreciate in America until recently. I mean, if you look at the games that are the matches that are being played in America in the first round, and not just the American match, like it's very intense. And it is so cool to see how many people have come out to watch soccer on big screens in Kansas City or Portland or wherever in the country, to include Richmond. Somebody was telling me some crazy stat about we had the 3rd most fans come out. It had to be a per capita thing. It couldn't have been just total numbers. But Richmond had like this crazy showing, I guess, somewhere near the James River. But Zach, you have at least auditory experience with what I'm talking about. Can you tell me what it was like in Rochester?
Yeah, there's a bar or a few bars just down the street about a block away, and they blocked off the whole street. And I was watching some of the game in my apartment, and every time we scored, I could hear the crowd roar. It was pretty cool, honestly. I wanted to go, but
yeah,
that's awesome.
They're watching it on a big screen or maybe multiple big screens in Rochester, New York, and the game's being played in Los Angeles, California, and they're going nuts like they're actually at the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. And you were telling me you can't see the U.S.'s second game, but you might be able to catch their third game.
Yeah, against Turkey.
From Rochester.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's still really cool. I don't know, Jack or Rob, did y'all have any experience with Richmond during the game, or were y'all doing other stuff?
No, we were watching here at home, so we didn't hear anything.
But apparently Richmond had a big turnout.
Yeah, I did have my daughter come out of the room when USA would score. I would go, and she was trying to watch a show in her room, and apparently I was a little too loud. So, but
wow, she wasn't watching.
No, she has no interest in soccer.
Is she an American citizen?
Yeah, she did come out and check the score a couple times. So,
all right, that's good. That's good.
I said something like, "Hey, if I'm gonna root for Carolina, you need to root for the USA."
All right, those things compare.
Hey, Rob, are we introducing a new segment called "Rob Does Dad Jokes"?
I mean, I'm ready to pull the trigger if you guys want it. It's up to you guys. We can do a little test run. It's up to y'all.
All right, I'm going to ask Zach and Jack, and then I'll answer this as well. How many dad jokes at one time can we tolerate from Rob? I'll start with Jack.
2 probably.
All right, Zach.
I'll say 3.
I'm with Jack. You and I have had more experience with Rob than Zach has. I'm going to go 2 as well. Sorry, Rob.
Dang. All right. So 2, 2, and 3 divided by, so I get 2.33. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, rounds down to 2, Rob.
Dang it. All right, cool. Why was the chef having trouble cooking a tree branch?
No idea.
He was using a non-stick pan.
That's actually. Sorry, I'm changing my answer to 3. That one got me. That one got me.
All right. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom?
Oh, Rob, I was doing some internet work earlier today because the P is silent.
Yes, because the P is silent. Let's see. All right, I got 2 more. I'm trying to decide which one's better. You want another question, or you just want me to tell a joke?
It's whatever you want to do, man.
All right. Why did the coffee taste like dirt?
Jack, Zach, and I are perplexed. We have no idea what the answer is.
Because it was just ground a few minutes ago.
Oh, man. So, as the other dad here, these are amusing to me. When I read them on the internet, they weren't amusing, but it's something about a dad delivering it in front of 2 24-year-olds. All right, so Rob does dad jokes. We'll continue.
Excellent.
I've just declared it, and the standard answer will be 3, Rob.
Okay, standard is 3. I got it.
Unless Jack texts me later and says it has to be no more than 2.
He's fine. He's smiling.
All right, good times. All right, cool. Any last-minute thoughts, fun facts, Rob, that you grabbed, or are we good?
No, I'm good this week.
All right, if y'all could hang on, I'd appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts. We'd also really appreciate if you'd rate and review us. You can find us at scodupodcast.com.